Hello and welcome back to Newsroom Nigeria. This is where we give you hot, fresh, and sizzling news all day long. If this is your first time here or you have not subscribed to this channel, what are you doing? Please go ahead and subscribe. Also, leave your opinions in the comment section below. Without further ado, let's delve right into the details of today's news. Sources have reportedly revealed how President Bola Ahmed Tinubu reportedly played a key role in the recent court decision that reinstated Mudashiru Obasa as Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly. According to Sahara reporters, the ruling made by Justice Yetunde Peiro of the Lagos High Court in Ikeja declared Obasa's removal illegal and unconstitutional. However, sources learned that this outcome may have been part of a political arrangement. Insiders allege that in exchange for ruling in Obasa's favor, Justice Peiro was promised a promotion to the Court of Appeal and that her husband, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Kemi Peiro, was involved in discussions with the presidency. Justice Peiro's ruling effectively reversed Obasa's impeachment and invalidated the assembly session that had elected Mojisola Meranda as Speaker in his absence. Although President Bola Ahmed Tinubu had earlier met with Lagos lawmakers and appeared to broker a deal for Meranda to step down while Obasa would drop his court case, sources claim Tinubu privately advised Obasa to proceed with a lawsuit, assuring him the judge would rule in his favor. Obasa had been impeached on January 13 while he was in the United States facing allegations of misconduct and abuse of office. Upon his return, he challenged the decision in court. Reports suggest that in February, Kemi Peiro met with the president in Abuja, where he allegedly promised to influence his wife's decision. When contacted, Mr. Peiro strongly denied the accusation, insisting he was in Abuja for unrelated legal matters. Despite Meranda complying with Tinubu's directive to resign, Obasa refused to withdraw his case. His legal team remained confident, and the judge ultimately reinstated him. I don't doubt this news one bit. Ask me why. Why? Because if you go back to when Tinubu instructed that Obasa should be reinstated, when he gave that instruction, and then the lawmakers refused to follow those instructions. The lawmakers insisted that it is Mojisola Meranda that they want. So definitely it is going to be Mojisola Meranda who would continue to be the speaker, thinking that if they continue to insist, the president will overlook and allow them be. They did not know that Tinubu had his own motive. Tinubu already had the motive of the fact that it is Obasa who would help him win the 2027 election, considering how woefully he performed in the 2023 election. He felt like because Obasa is a force to reckon with when it comes to Lagos politics, with the help of Obasa, he would be able to win Lagos State this time around. The lawmakers, thought that, they were not going to follow the president's directive. They are just going to insist, and probably with time, the president will overlook. And I think that it was even Tinubu who gave Obasa that advice to go and take it by force when the lawmakers were insisting that they were not going to allow for Obasa's reinstatement. I think that it was the one who advised him to go and take it by force. When he went with thugs, invaded the Lagos House of Assembly and broke into the office and then took back the position by force. Now we are getting to find out that although Tinubu told the lawmakers that don't worry, even the original deal was that don't worry, allow him to come back to the position after a month or two. He's going to voluntarily resign. My people, has Obasa voluntarily resigned since then? No. They just wanted to tell them what they wanted to hear. That, Shebi, you want him to resign, Abi? You just want him to resign. No problem. Allow him to go back to the position. We don't want him to be embarrassed. It's like a shame to him if he gets impeached. Please allow him to go back to the position. After a while, he will resign voluntarily. And the case that he has in court, he will withdraw the case. They fulfilled none. None of that was fulfilled. None of the agreements that was reached at the meeting was fulfilled. They never fulfilled any of it. Especially the case that Obasa had in court against the lawmakers, which we are now hearing that it was arranged by Tinubu, with Obasa that don't withdraw the case, don't worry, you will win the case. And now we are hearing that Peiro's husband, that is the judge in charge of the case, the husband was the one who went to Abuja to negotiate terms and conditions, for announcing that Obasa's impeachment was illegal and that the lawmakers had no right to impeach him in his absence. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? You guys remember this senator who was videoed in a sex toy shop, who slapped a woman there, who recently came out, to speak in defense of Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan and against Akpabio, really revealing, the things that he knows about Akpabio. This same senator, said that it was powers that be who made sure that he did not, he was sacked from his seat, who made sure that he did not win the case because he had offended the power to be, he had offended Akpabio. That was what he said on Arise Television. He said that live. And don't forget that he once said that when the case was ongoing in court, before he was sacked, that the judge in charge of the case sent a couple to come and meet him in the hotel room where he was lodged, to ask him that, what are you going to give us? What are you going to give us? If you want to win the case, you better drop something. And he ended up not dropping anything, which was why he lost the case. Can you imagine that? So when we hear that Tinubu has a hand in this particular case, I don't dispute it. I do not dispute it because by all means, this is very right and very relatable. It's not far from what we have heard before. We have heard things like this happen before, so I am not surprised. Before we go, my people, let's take a look at some of the reactions we got online. The first comment comes from Christopher, who says, it's not only Obasa's matter, but before the election, Tinubu's scorecard will be there for all to see, and Obi too will campaign for his re-election. Remember, Obi had already referred to Tinubu as his elder brother. This might help Obi in years to come. Marshall says, Lagos State will only be a beast of burden when area boys from the top echelon to the basement continue to deny the people their constitutional rights. What do you expect from a state that has no respect for the rule of law, not even respecting their own internal constitution? Lastly, a comment from Engineer Kingsley says, the same thing he taught Wike, or Wike taught him. Fubawa withdrew cases, and Wike continued with his own setting the stage for Supreme Court transactional misjudgments. Imagine. Take, for example, the case of Wike as well. They agreed, though. Tinubu assured him that, don't worry, we draw the case in court. And Fubara did. And look at where it landed him. It even contributed to his loss at the Supreme Court because he withdrew that case. Terrible mistakes. Terrible one. Fubara withdrew cases and Wike continued with his own, setting the stage for Supreme Court transactional misjudgments. Same for Lagos Assembly lawmakers. Next time you want to dine with Tinubu or Wike or Akpabio, think first of the size of a spoon you will use. You have to use long spoon if you want to dine with them. And when talking about politicians, if you let politicians, run, no, my brother, run, no, because anything they tell you, there is a meeting after a meeting. There is another meeting after the meeting. After that whole meeting, there's still another meeting. So don't say that because so person has assured me, we have discussed, and you think that that is the end. You think that the person will be a gentleman to honor that agreement. Not in politics, my brother, my sister. Not in politics. You all, let's have your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. Thank you very much for always listening and watching, guys. I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.